We have a very short video for Monday morning. The subject of what we've been doing this weekend on the retreat with Amoda Maa. I wrote a poem, and this is it. I'm going to read it out, talk about it a little bit. Anchor yourself in the I am, the silent presence before thought, the stillness beneath all movement, the unshakable ground that is always here. Rest in the vast ocean of awareness, where waves of emotion and thought may rise and fall, but never disturb the depth of being itself. So that if a wild storm should blow in, a fierce wind of fear or sorrow, a thunderclap of doubt or despair, you will not be swept away. You will remain steady, rooted in the eternal now, like the depths of the ocean untouched by the surface winds, like a mountain unmoved by the passing clouds. You are that. The storm may rage, but the I am remains calm, open, free. So I made a couple of videos recently, one yesterday, which was a very long one about reactivity. And now I want to redress and just speak to briefly about the importance of not getting lost in the human experience, not getting identified or fixating on, for instance, the reactive self, or the triggered self, or the victim self, or any aspect really of self. It's like to remember and discover through personal experience. And it can't happen just intellectually, it has to happen through a deeper and deeper abiding to actually discover what is below and beyond, above, outside, inside, all of the phenomena that happens, whether it be the person, the personhood, the ego self, the victim self, the waves that rise up on the ocean, the clouds that appear in the sky, to know through an ever deepening what it is to be rooted in awareness, the awareness that sees clearly the rising and fall of phenomena. Because when we when we start to see clearly in the way that I'm pointing to, the rising and falling of phenomena, we also start to see that it loosens up the identification with the reactive me. And that loosening up through awareness, through an ever deeper awareness, an open awareness, an unbounded awareness, softens the relationship that we have with the broken parts of ourselves and the broken parts of the world. We're not funneling into ourselves so much. That's what we've done, and that's what we're used to. Funneling in, consciousness funneling in to identity, and then becoming absolutely glued there as almost as a fact, as a thing. There I am. I've funneled as consciousness, as conscious awareness. I funneled into identity, and now I'm stuck there. And so everything that happens in my life, I absolutely identify with and I take personally, which is both, just kind of what happens, but to remain stuck there on the spiritual journey without almost defunneling, without unsticking that funneledness, so that we can somehow return to a sense of awareness. Hold on. To to return to our sense of the oceanic nature of us as open, unconditioned awareness. One might say love, one might say divine love, one might say natural intelligence, one might say just beingness. And so this is the journey, really, to seek in some way to attend to what needs to be attended to on the surface level, which is the level of form, which is the level of our sense of separateness, which we need to not validate but attend to sometimes, because the form is true as not form, as true as consciousness. Both things have a place in a way, but to actually see clearly how, and to experience viscerally through deeper contemplation, through meditation, through softening, through allowing, through a great tenderness, a great willingness to fall beyond the level of self into this softer and softer place that we have within ourselves, where everything starts to open out. And in that, by and by, when we're not so tightly fixated on the self, and this defunneling takes place, and we start to return, well, then actually it does create this softness. It does foster a deeper softness with our own human experience. We start to see that actually we're already whole. We were whole, and even during the brokenness, there was a certain sense somewhere within us that we forgot and lost, a kind of wholeness, a kind of union, a kind of love that transcends almost the human experience. It doesn't bypass the human experience, but it's the awareness that has been with us always, ever since we arrived here. Start to get a sense of that, and that eases the suffering of the human condition. It's fragrant, it's delicate, it's subtle, but none of those words and none of those qualities make it any the less powerful, because that's where our divinity lies. To move from the funneling of ourselves into the defunneling, more open grace of ourselves. And that's what I'm encouraging. That is resting in, what one might call the divine, what one might even call God, what one might even call unconditional love. All of these qualities are inherent in us. They're not somewhere else. They're not out there. We don't need to reach them. We need to kind of fall back into them as the essence of who we are, falling back into the truth of ourselves. There's such a great healing in this. I can't begin to speak to it in so many ways, but try, see, fall out of yourself and defunnel and fall back into your true nature. See what happens. And this is not a one-shot deal. This is a lifetime. This is a lifetime of the journey, that simple journey. That's it. That's what I wanted to say today.